The sky above Earth looked calm from space, but below, the planet's surface was a trap. The Galactic Union had warned all species about Earth's hazard zones, but none believed humans could make such a dangerous world. 2,000 Deathworlders, trained to survive the harshest planets, prepared to test their strength against the Earth hazard zone. They were confident. Arrogance was common among the Union forces, especially when facing a species long considered primitive. Commander Lucas Hart observed them from the human observation station. He leaned over the controls and adjusted the scanners. "They don't know what they're walking into," he said quietly. Next to him, scientist Karen Brooks looked at the same monitors. Her brow was tight. "We have to see how they react. This will tell us more about the hazard zone, and maybe them too." The Deathworlders gathered at the edge of the restricted zone. The ground there was rough, full of jagged rocks and strange plants that seemed to move slightly even in the windless air. The alien soldiers were a mixture of species. Some had scales, some had thick skin, some had wings, and a few had eyes that glowed in the dark. All of them carried advanced weapons and equipment designed to survive almost anything. Yet Lucas and Karen watched quietly as their confidence began to show small cracks. The first step into the hazard zone triggered a faint hum in the scanners. It was almost like the land itself was alive. Karen's fingers moved quickly over the console. "I'm seeing energy readings we've never measured before. It's reacting to them, not the weather or the sun." "The zone notices them," Lucas nodded. "It's old. Humans built it or left it, but it's watching them." The aliens moved in groups, each thinking they could explore the zone and report back quickly. The terrain was unforgiving. Jagged rocks broke their boots, strange plants wrapped around their ankles, and the air was thick with a mist that burned slightly in their lungs. Most of them ignored it, proud of their training, confident that nothing on Earth could harm them. After a few hours, the first signs of danger appeared. A group exploring a small valley vanished without a trace. No sound, no fight, nothing. Their equipment continued transmitting, but only static came back. Lucas frowned. "They're underestimating this place," he muttered. Karen leaned closer. "The zone doesn't fight fair. It doesn't fight at all. It just reacts." Further in, other teams began reporting strange occurrences. One squad found trees that moved toward them, branches like fingers trying to block their path. Another encountered a fog that shaped itself into figures of humans long dead. The Deathworlders laughed at first, calling them tricks of light. Then one by one, they disappeared, swallowed by the forest, by the mist, by the zone itself. Inside the observation station, Lucas and Karen stayed calm, but their eyes showed worry. "These readings. It's almost like the zone remembers humans," Karen said. "It knows how humans survive. It adapts when someone foreign steps in." Lucas shook his head. "Then we are the danger. The humans before made this place what it is. The aliens, they are just walking into it." A few alien soldiers, noticing the dangers, tried to regroup. They sent messages to the Union fleet orbiting the planet, asking for help. But the hazard zone blocked every signal. Storms formed instantly around them, winds and lightning striking randomly, as if the zone was alive. Creatures emerged, some looking like twisted animals, some like machines, all hunting with precise instincts. The Deathworlders realized too late that their tech could fail. Weapons jammed, scanners went blank, and the zone's illusions made them see things that were not there. As night fell, Lucas and Karen watched the monitors closely. The zone glowed faintly, a greenish light spreading over the landscape. Shadows moved in unnatural ways, and the alien soldiers' panic grew. Some tried to climb high cliffs to escape, only to find that the cliffs shifted when they stepped on them. Others ran into valleys that had no exit, even though maps said they should. The zone twisted reality, confusing every alien step. "They don't understand Earth," Lucas said, leaning back in his chair. "They think it's a death world because it's harsh. It's not harsh. It's human. It's how humans survived after everything went wrong. The zone is human-made in a way that kills anyone who isn't human." Karen nodded slowly. "The humans before us left their instincts here. It remembers. It adapts. It reacts to outsiders. Inside the hazard zone, some aliens began to panic completely. They argued among themselves, blaming each other for mistakes. Others froze in fear as unseen predators stalked them. A large predator with 6 legs and eyes that reflected no light jumped from nowhere, killing instantly. The aliens were trained for combat, but not against a world that fought like a human mind. Lucas and Karen tried to predict what would happen next. If they don't adapt quickly, Karen said, "This will be a massacre." Lucas looked at the screens, seeing dots disappear one by one. Humans don't make mistakes like this. They survive. Hours passed. Small groups of aliens managed to make temporary camps. They tried to set up defenses, but every night the zone shifted. Paths they had used safely before disappeared. Strange fogs, storms, and creatures made movement almost impossible. Communication between groups broke down entirely. The aliens' confidence melted into terror. By the second day, only a fraction of the 2,000 soldiers were still moving together. Their numbers were already dropping, yet they pressed on. Pride kept them going. No one wanted to admit that Earth was beyond their understanding. Lucas watched silently. The ones who die first, they think they can fight the zone like a battlefield. They can't. It's not a battlefield. It's a memory. It's a trap shaped by humans and their survival instinct. Karen's hands flew over the controls. Look at this. The zone creates patterns that mimic human decisions. A bridge appears where a human would cross safely, but not for aliens. Predators wait where a human would be cautious. It's teaching itself to kill non-humans while rewarding anything human. Some aliens tried to retreat. Storms rose instantly behind them, cutting off the way. Panic turned to horror. In one valley, a squad of 50 vanished. No screams, no traces. The zone swallowed them. Another squad tried to climb cliffs, only to find that the cliffs themselves had changed. The ground beneath them turned into loose sand that swallowed them in seconds. Lucas turned to Karen. "It's worse than we thought. This place doesn't just kill. It learns. It shapes reality. It punishes pride and rewards the human way of thinking." Karen nodded. "And it only takes hours for it to adapt. If the aliens don't understand quickly, none will survive." The night was long, and the zone showed no mercy. Strange lights glowed from nowhere. Creatures appeared and vanished before they could be tracked. Alien tech failed one by one. Only a few small groups survived by pure luck, hiding in caves or trees, frozen and silent, waiting for dawn. The zone tested them constantly, changing with every breath, every step, every heartbeat. Lucas and Karen sat quietly, watching as the first day turned into night, and night into another day. The hazard zone continued to kill, confuse, and terrify. The humans who built it had long been gone, but their instincts lingered, shaping the land to survive, to punish, and to remember. And somewhere deep inside the zone, the aliens began to understand one terrifying truth. No matter how strong, how trained, or how advanced they were, Earth would not let them leave easily. This world belonged to the humans, and it remembered them in ways no one had imagined. As the first star appeared in the night sky, Lucas whispered, "We will see how many survive. And then, the humans will finally show why no one should ever challenge their world." The zone was quiet for a moment, but Lucas knew better. It was only waiting, watching, learning, and preparing for the next move. The sun rose slowly over the hazard zone, but it brought no comfort. The alien soldiers who survived the first night moved cautiously, scanning the strange landscape. Jagged rocks, twisted trees, and patches of mist filled the valley. Every shadow seemed alive. Some soldiers whispered about monsters, others blamed the zone itself. The zone was quiet now, but Lucas Hart and Karen Brooks watched the monitors nervously, knowing it was only preparing for the next strike. A group of aliens huddled together near a small cliff, trying to make a temporary base. They were exhausted, many of them injured from the night's attacks. Nora Lane, a pilot, checked her scanners and noticed something strange. The readings were changing constantly, as if the land itself was moving. "It's not just the animals," she said. "The whole zone is alive. It moves when we move." Scott Avery, the strategist, frowned. "We need a plan. If this place changes with every step, we can't just go forward blindly." Deeper inside the zone, a fog began to rise. It was thick and heavy, and it carried a faint glow. The aliens tried to push through, but their equipment started to fail. Their communication devices gave static. Their weapons misfired. Strange noises echoed around them, soft whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. Some soldiers froze in fear, unable to tell reality from illusion. Lucas leaned over the monitors, his eyes wide. Look at them. They are trained for war, but this isn't war. It's a trap shaped by humans. Humans survived here, adapted, and left a memory behind. The zone reacts to outsiders. It punishes them for every mistake. Karen nodded. The zone is learning. Every move they make, every step they take, it adapts. Nothing they know will help them. One of the alien squads found an old structure, half buried in the earth. It looked like a human building, but strange plants had grown over it. Inside, the walls pulsed faintly, as if alive. One soldier, a medic named Linda Price, touched the wall and felt a vibration under her hand. It was almost like a heartbeat. Suddenly, the building shifted. Doors moved, corridors twisted. The aliens ran, but the building seemed to change with them, closing exits and opening new paths. Some of them vanished inside, screaming, but the echoes disappeared quickly. Nora Lane tried to regroup the remaining soldiers. "We need to stay together," she said. "If we split up, the zone will pick us off one by one." Scott Avery agreed. "We have to move carefully. Every choice counts. It's like a puzzle, but the pieces fight back." As they advanced, they noticed strange plants with glowing tendrils. When the aliens stepped too close, the tendrils lashed out like snakes, striking with deadly precision. One soldier was caught and lifted into the air before disappearing into the mist. The others fired their weapons, but the tendrils dissolved before the bullets could hit. Fear spread quickly. The aliens realized that this zone was not like any battlefield they had faced before. Their weapons were useless, their strategies failed, and the land itself seemed hostile. Lucas and Karen watched silently, studying the readings. "This is not just a death world," Karen said. "It's a memory. Humans shaped it, adapted it, and left a survival instinct behind. The aliens don't belong here. The zone punishes outsiders." Lucas shook his head. "And yet it only reacts this way because humans once lived here. It's almost intelligent." The remaining squads tried to communicate with each other, but the fog blocked signals. Storms began forming, sudden and violent, striking randomly. Lightning split the air and thunder shook the ground. The aliens ran for cover, but even the cliffs and caves seemed to shift. Rocks fell from nowhere, and deep cracks appeared in the earth beneath their feet. Some squads disappeared entirely, leaving no trace behind. Inside the fog, strange creatures moved. Some had multiple eyes, others had sharp claws, and some were difficult to describe at all. They struck quickly, disappearing before the aliens could react. The soldiers realized these creatures were not animals in the normal sense. They were part of the zone, responding to every movement, every fear. One creature chased a soldier into a cave, and when the others followed, they found the cave empty. The soldier was gone, leaving only a bloodstain on the rock. Nora, Scott, and Linda found a small clearing. They tried to rest and plan their next move. "We can't fight it," Nora said. "Every attack fails. We have to outsmart it, or we'll all die." Scott looked at her, worry in his eyes. "How do you outsmart a world that reacts to you? It knows everything we do." Linda nodded. "We need to think like humans. Humans survived here. Maybe if we act like them, we can survive too." The aliens moved cautiously, trying to mimic human strategies. They avoided obvious dangers, stayed quiet, and observed patterns in the zone. They noticed that certain areas remained safe for longer periods, and that the zone reacted slower to cautious movements. Still, every step was deadly. A single mistake could lead to death. Soldiers fell one by one, either trapped by shifting terrain, killed by creatures, or lost in illusions. As the day passed, Lucas noticed something unusual. A single figure moved inside the zone, avoiding the hazards effortlessly. It was a human, wearing simple clothes and carrying only basic equipment. The human did not run. did not panic, and seemed to understand the zone instinctively. "Who is that?" Lucas asked. Karen looked closely. "I don't know. But whoever it is, they survived alone. Maybe they can help the aliens, or maybe the zone will react differently to them." The alien spotted the human too. He appeared calm, almost welcoming, but his eyes held warning. Nora hesitated. "Should we approach him?" Scott shook his head. "We don't know if it's a trap. This place could kill anyone. But maybe. He is our only chance." Linda added, "We have no choice. We either follow him or die trying to find our own path." Carefully, the aliens approached. The human noticed them immediately and raised a hand. "I am Evan Cole," he said calmly. "You should not be here. This zone does not welcome outsiders. But if you want to survive, follow me. I know the paths, the tricks, the dangers. It will not be easy." Nora, Scott, and Linda followed Evan through the dense fog. He led them through hidden paths, avoided deadly traps, and showed them areas that seemed safe. Still, the zone was relentless. Storms formed without warning, creatures appeared and vanished, and illusions tried to confuse them at every step. The aliens realized they had underestimated Earth completely. No training, no weapon, no strategy could prepare them for this world. Only careful observation and human-like instincts could keep them alive. Lucas and Karen observed the group. "He knows the zone," Karen said. "Humans shaped it. Humans survived here. He understands its memory." Lucas nodded. "He is the key. The aliens will never survive without him." This proves that humans are not just strong or lucky. They are part of the planet. They made it alive. As night fell again, the aliens and Evan found a temporary shelter. The zone continued to hum and shift, but inside the small cave, they could rest. Nora looked at Evan. "How long have you been here?" she asked. Evan smiled faintly. "Years. The zone trains you. It punishes mistakes. It teaches survival. Outsiders can't last unless they learn from me." The remaining soldiers realized that survival depended on adaptation, not strength. They had to think like humans, understand the land, and follow the instincts that had allowed Evan to live. The hazard zone was no longer just a threat. It was a teacher. It tested, it punished, and it rewarded only those who understood its memory. Lucas and Karen watched the monitors all night. The alien soldiers moved cautiously, learning, surviving one step at a time. The zone shifted constantly, but the human guidance gave them hope. "If anyone can survive this," Lucas whispered, "it's the human instinct. It always finds a way." And deep in the zone, Evan led the aliens, showing them paths and tricks. The land was alive, reacting, remembering, and testing every choice. The aliens were learning the hard way what it meant to face a death world made by humans. Mistakes were deadly, but lessons were life-saving. The night was long, full of shifting paths, strange sounds, and quiet fear. But for the first time, some aliens understood the truth. Survival here was not about power or technology. It was about patience, observation, and respect for the humans who once shaped this land. Only then could they hope to live another day. The aliens moved slowly through the hazard zone, following Evan Cole. He led them along narrow paths hidden by thick plants and shifting rocks. The fog hung heavy, glowing faintly in the dim light, and the air smelled strange, like metal and wet soil mixed. Every step was cautious. One wrong move could mean death. The aliens had already lost most of their teams, and they knew they were walking into dangers far beyond their training. Nora Lane walked beside Scott Avery and Linda Price. She kept her eyes on the ground, scanning for moving shadows. "This place isn't natural," she said. "It's like it thinks." Scott nodded. "I've seen death worlds before. Nothing acts like this. It's alive, reacting to us," Linda added quietly, "and Evan knows it. He survives because he understands its memory. We need to listen to him." Evan stopped for a moment near a small stream. The water was clear, but ripples moved in unnatural patterns, forming shapes that looked like faces. He crouched and touched the water, then looked up at the aliens. "This zone is old," he said. "Humans built it long ago. We tried to survive here after a global crisis. The land learned from us. It adapted. It remembers humans, and it punishes outsiders. The aliens glanced at each other nervously. Nora spoke first. So it knows we're not human? Evan nodded. It knows. It tests you, confuses you, kills the careless. If you want to survive, you must think like humans. Observe, wait, and act with caution. Never force the zone. Let it guide you. As they moved on, the terrain shifted around them. Hills that were once distant rose suddenly, creating walls. Valleys deepened, swallowing trees and rocks. Strange creatures appeared at the edges of vision, then vanished when the aliens turned their heads. One soldier froze when a creature with glowing eyes and sharp claws appeared behind a bush. Evan raised a hand, signaling calm, and the creature stepped back. It was clear. The zone tested their fear, punishing panic. Lucas Hart and Karen Brooks watched the monitors, tracking the aliens' movements. It's learning faster than we thought, Karen said. Every time the aliens make a mistake, the zone changes. It adapts, Lucas nodded. And it rewards Evan because he understands it. Humans shape this land, and the land remembers them. The aliens are outsiders. It will never let them leave easily, further in. The aliens encountered a forest where the trees were thick and twisted. Roots rose like snakes, moving when stepped on. One alien soldier screamed as a root wrapped around his leg and pulled him into the shadows. Nora fired her weapon, but the bullets passed through the root as if it were mist. The soldier vanished, leaving only his scream behind. Evan led the survivors around the danger. Showing hidden paths the zone allowed humans to use safely. After hours of careful travel, they reached an area filled with strange ruins. Old human structures, long abandoned, fused with living plants and soil. Walls pulsed faintly, and corridors twisted like mazes. The aliens hesitated. "This is a trap," Scott whispered. "It looks abandoned, but it's alive," Evan nodded. Humans left these places to survive. The zone remembers every step taken here. Outsiders cannot enter safely without guidance. Inside the ruins, the aliens were tested further. Doors opened and closed at random, hallways stretched or shrank. Illusions made them see creatures and humans who were not there. One alien charged at a shadow and disappeared through the wall, screaming. The others realized the zone punished impatience and fear, just as Evan had said. Only observation and calm could save them. They stopped in a central room, where the walls glowed faintly. Evan touched the wall, and it pulsed under his fingers. "This was a human lab," he said. "We tried to survive experiments here. The land absorbed our memory, our fear, our instincts. Now it uses them to defend itself against intruders." Nora asked, "So humans survived because they understood the zone?" Evan nodded. "Yes. Outsiders must learn quickly or die. Strength and technology mean nothing here. Only instincts matter." Suddenly, the zone reacted violently. The floor shook, and walls shifted. Creatures appeared in every corridor. Alien weapons misfired. One by one, they were pushed back, forced into corners, tested in every possible way. Panic almost took hold, but Evan remained calm. He led the aliens through a hidden path, narrowly avoiding death. After the attack, they found a small clearing where they could rest. Nora sat down heavily. "I don't understand," she said. "We have training. We have weapons. Why can't we fight this place?" Evan looked at her. "Because this place is not just land. It is memory. Humans made it alive. It knows our instincts. It reacts to strength and force, but not to patience and observation. You must adapt to survive. Scott studied the ruins. So if we act like humans, observe, wait, and learn, we can survive." Evan nodded. "Yes, but one mistake, one panic, and it will kill. Humans learn slowly, step by step. Outsiders must do the same." The next day, the aliens faced more tests. A wide river appeared suddenly. Currents moved strangely, forming whirlpools and waves that seemed to anticipate movement. Creatures with sharp teeth and long limbs emerged from the water. The aliens froze. Evan stepped forward calmly. "Observe," he said. "Do not fight. Follow the flow. Do not panic." Nora led the group, watching the currents carefully. She moved with caution, mimicking Evan's steps. The zone reacted to their calm and patience. The whirlpools shifted slightly, allowing the aliens to cross. When one soldier panicked and ran, the water rose and swept him away. The others learned quickly every reaction mattered. The zone punished mistakes and rewarded calm. After crossing the river, they entered another forest. This one was darker, filled with plants that seemed to whisper. Illusions appeared constantly, showing humans from long ago. The aliens questioned reality, some nearly losing their minds. Evan guided them through, explaining the importance of trust and observation. The zone tests your mind, he said. It feeds on fear and impatience. You must control yourselves. As they progressed, the aliens began to understand. They studied the patterns, observed the zone's behavior, and adjusted their movements. They no longer rushed or panicked. They avoided obvious dangers and followed hidden paths. Still, death waited at every corner. Soldiers who made mistakes vanished instantly. Lucas and Karen watched from the observation station. The aliens are learning slowly, Karen said. They may survive longer because of Evan, but the zone will continue to test them, Lucas nodded. And every test proves the human's instinct is stronger than technology. The zone rewards humans because it was shaped by them. After several days, the group reached a plateau with a view over the zone. The land stretched endlessly, shifting and alive. Evan looked at it with a mixture of pride and caution. This is Earth, he said. Humans made it survive us. Now it tests outsiders. Every step you take is observed. Every choice matters. Nora turned to Evan. How many humans survived here before? Evan paused. Not many. The land is unforgiving. But we learned. We adapted. Outsiders must do the same, or they will die. Scott looked at the horizon. We've already lost so many. Only a few of us remain. Can we really survive? Evan smiled faintly. You will survive if you think like humans. If you respect the zone. If you control your fear. Nothing else matters. The aliens realized the truth. The hazard zone was not just dangerous terrain. It was a test of intelligence, patience, and instinct. Technology and strength were useless. Only human-like survival skills mattered. They had to learn quickly or be killed. As night fell again, the survivors made camp. The zone hummed softly, shifting even in sleep. The aliens lay awake, thinking about the days ahead. Mistakes would cost their lives. Only calm, careful observation, and trust in Evan could keep them alive. Lucas and Karen watched the monitors one last time that night. The zone is teaching them, Karen whispered. This is not a battle. It is a lesson. The aliens will only survive if they learn what humans already know, Lucas nodded. And that lesson is deadly. Deep in the hazard zone, Evan led the group, teaching, guiding, and watching. The land was alive, remembering, punishing, and testing. The aliens were learning slowly, but they had already understood one important truth: Earth was human, and it would only allow survival for those who adapted to its memory.